Welcome to this week's AEW Dynamite recap for February 10th, 2021. We go through each match, the winners, and grade them, and then we review next week's card and AEW Dark. Get everything you need to know about AEW this week in less than 7 minutes. So let's begin. First up, we start with the TNT Championship match, Darby Allin versus Joey Janela. Winner, Darby Allin. I gave this a B-. I'm a fan of Joey Janela, I kind of am, but I don't know if he really brings it. He's had some good matches. This was an okay match. His time to shine. It was just an okay. I gave it a B-. We get a segment about Jon Moxley talking about tonight's main event match. Then we get a little setup segment with Sammy Guevara and MJF talking backstage, and Sammy punches MJF, and that will have ramifications later on. Then we get Cody Rhodes and Lee Johnson versus Peter Avalon and Cesar Bononi. Bononi looked good. Winner, Cody Rhodes and Lee Johnson. I gave this a C+. This is Lee Johnson's first win in AEW, so they kind of celebrated that. And then Tony Khan announced that Lee Johnson was officially All Elite, but we kind of knew that already. So congratulations to Lee Johnson. C+. This is an okay match. We get the Young Bucks and Good Brothers segment talking about just random stuff. Then we get a Hangman Adam Page talking to Matt Hardy segment, and that will lead to some more stuff down the road as well. Next, we get a Pac versus Ryan Nemeth. Not really sure why this guy is getting this kind of push. Winner, Pac. I gave this a C+. Pac was fine. He just kind of beat him up. And that was it, kind of a squash match. But I'm not sure why this Ryan Nemeth is getting a push. So many other guys have been on Dark, or even just guys that really haven't been used lately that could have done this match. But I'm not really sure why Ryan Nemeth gets the push there. Nothing really to see there. Miro talks about the last week's wedding. I think they just want to end that whole deal. Then we get Chris Jericho and MJF versus The Acclaim, Anthony Bowens and Max Caster. This was actually a decent match. Surprisingly, I'm not a fan of The Acclaim's gimmick. Winner, Chris Jericho and MJF. I gave this a B-. Just not a fan of The Acclaim's gimmick, but actually this had some good spots and was pretty compelling match. This was a decent match. After the match, Sammy Guevara announces he is leaving the Inner Circle. Well, we'll see where this leads, and Sammy comes in through the heel tunnel and leaves out the babyface tunnel. We'll see how this plays out. I think the end should come to the Inner Circle. We can have a better, faction at this point. Then we get a Hangman Adam Page and Matt Hardy segment. They're doing some drinks, and Hangman Page signs some kind of contract while he's drunk. We will see what goes there. We get our weekly Sting, not really interview at all this time. Sting comes out to talk to Tony Schiavone, and then we see backstage that Team Taz has put Darby Allin in a body bag and drags him across the parking lot, and that ends the segment there. There's your weekly Sting check-in. Kind of getting... that was a good segment, but it's kind of getting... Then we get a segment with Kenny Omega on the golf course talking about tonight's match. That was kind of funny. Then we have the singles match, Women's Eliminator Tournament first round, Layla Hirsch versus Thunder Rosa. This was a good match. Winner, Thunder Rosa. I gave this a B-. I thought this match was really good. I'm telling you, the women's division is getting better and better. Thunder Rosa and Layla Hirsch are both good competitors. On the top tier. I think definitely Layla Hirsch is on the top tier women's wrestlers. A couple of messy spots here and there, but overall it was a good match. Gave it a B-. We get a Jungle Boy segment talking to Tony Schiavone about FTR and how they're all mad at each other. We'll see where that one leads. Then we get the big finale, the Falls Count Anywhere match, Kenny Omega and KENTA versus Jon Moxley and Lance Archer. Winner, Kenny Omega and KENTA. I gave this an A-, and this is the elite match of the night. This was a fun match all the way around. They went in the backstage. They went into the kitchen. There was some kind of editing things in there towards the end, which I thought was kind of interesting, but I guess it worked when you can tape and you can speed up the match. But overall, this was a good match, and it really ended AEW Dynamite really well with Kenny Omega and KENTA with the win. The Good Brothers got involved too. We'll see what happens going forward. Card for next week's AEW Dynamite. The big news is Riho returns. So first we got the Women's Eliminator Tournament first round. We'll get Serena Deeb versus Riho. We've heard about this going before, but now we'll get it next week. And the return of Riho, the former AEW Women's Champion. So that will be good. I'm interested to see where this goes. I assume Riho is going to win, but Serena Deeb is great too. Two great women's matches. I wonder if this doesn't get at the end of the card, but they move it up higher. We get another segment where Sting calls out Team Taz for what happened this week with dragging Darby Allin through the parking lot. I'm getting a little with the whole Sting coming out and not really doing much. I don't think he bounces the ratings at all. Then we get a tag match. Hangman Adam Page and Matt Hardy and Private Party versus Hybrid 2 and Chaos Project. I know it's Chaos. I always say Chaos. Whatever there. We know who's going to win that. FTR versus Matt and Mike Sydal. Mike Sydal getting the spot. But again, we haven't seen him before. Why don't they let somebody else, that one of the mid-carders, kind of get in that spot too? Why are they bringing in these just random guys? Then we get a tag team championship match. The Young Bucks versus Santana and Ortiz. This is Santana and Ortiz's chance to shine. If they lose, they'll be out of that top ranking and somebody else could take their place. So that match is going to be a must-see match for next week. All right, let's take a recap of this week's AEW Dark. A lot less matches this week. First up, Natural Nightmares and Nick Caramundo defeated Barry Morales and Jersey Muscle. SCU, Frankie Kazarian and Christopher Daniels defeated Lee Johnson and Aaron Solo. Brian Cage with Hook defeated Jake St. Patrick. Nyla Rose defeated Miranda Elise. Pac defeated VSK. Sonny Kiss defeated Casey Navarro. Tay Conte with Anna Jay defeated Alex Gracia. Ryan Nemeth defeated Marco Stunt. That one, I wasn't sure where it was going to go. I thought maybe Marco would have a chance. Peter Avalon and Cesar Bonani defeated Sean Dean and Charlie Bravo. Preston Vance defeated Baron Black. Red Velvet defeated Diamante. Wasn't sure where that was going to go. And finally, Joey Janela defeated Jack Evans. And there is your results for Dark.